The last thing I remember was the explosion. And then, silence. When I opened my eyes, I was lying beneath two blazing suns. My ship was gone, nothing but smoke and twisted metal. But the ground shook with something impossible. Footsteps, each one like thunder. Then I saw her. 15 feet tall. Skin like moonstone. Eyes glowing gold. Two curved horns rising from her forehead like crowns. And she looked down at me. Not as prey, but as something she couldn't quite understand. Another one from the stars, she whispered. I didn't know then that she'd be the only one who could help me escape her world, and the only one I'd never want to leave. The crash had torn everything apart, communications, engines, even my oxygen stabilizer. I was stranded on a planet that wasn't on any chart. The air was thick but breathable, the skies tinted violet, and the ground shimmered faintly like liquid crystal. Then came the voices, low, melodic, yet carrying the power of thunder. I hid behind a broken panel of my ship, peeking over the ridge, and that's when I saw them. They weren't human. They were giants, women towering over the landscape, each one adorned with crystalline armor and long, curling horns. Their presence was both terrifying and mesmerizing. Every movement they made caused the earth to tremble. I tried to run, but one of them spotted me. Her name, I'd later learn, was Vaelara, the youngest warrior of her tribe. Instead of crushing me like an insect, she crouched down, her golden eyes scanning me with wonder. You're small, she said softly. But alive. The others won't like that. She took me to a colossal stone citadel built from glowing minerals, a city alive with strange energy. There, I met the Elder Queen, whose voice echoed through the air like an ancient song. She called me Starborn, a title I didn't understand. Through gestures and fragments of translated speech, I learned that their world, Vaelara, was once a peaceful planet. But something had changed. The skies had started to darken, storms swallowed their forests, and a mysterious energy pulse had begun to decay their power crystals. They believed my arrival had something to do with it. I tried to explain, my crash was an accident. But how do you explain technology to beings who communicate through energy resonance? That night, Vaelara came to me again. She brought food, fruits glowing with bio-light, and a liquid that tasted like sweet rain. We didn't understand each other's words, but silence spoke enough. She looked at the stars and whispered something, almost like a prayer. I followed her gaze and realized the constellation she pointed to was Earth's sector. She knew where I'd come from. For the first time since the crash, I didn't feel alone. But peace was brief. The next morning, a tremor shook the land. From the misty valleys beyond their city, came the wraiths, shadow creatures born from the corrupted energy of Vaerara's dying core. They attacked without mercy, and I saw Vaelara's people fight like gods, their horns glowing with energy, their voices unleashing waves of power that shattered stone. In that chaos, I saw something horrifying. The crystal embedded in Vaelara's chest began to crack. Without it, she'd die, her energy would collapse. Instinct took over. I ripped open my ship's wreckage and found my damaged reactor core. It was radioactive, dangerous, but it pulsed with the same energy frequency as their crystals. If I could connect it, maybe it would stabilize her energy. Maybe it could even fix my ship. But I had one chance. One wrong move, and we'd both be gone. Trust me, I said, placing my trembling hand on her massive arm. She just nodded. Do what you must, Starborn. Days turned into weeks. The reactor experiment half-worked. It revived Vaelara but unleashed a chain reaction that made the planet's storms worse. Every night, the skies glowed red, and lightning danced between the twin suns. The Elder Queen saw me as both savior and curse. You carry fire that feeds life and death, she warned. The tribe began to divide. Some wanted to help me return home. Others wanted me exiled, or destroyed before my energy could consume their world. But Vaelara stood by me. Against her queen's command, She helped me rebuild my ship using their living metal, a material that responded to emotion and memory. I told her I'd named the ship Vale, after her, for saving me. And yet, as we worked together, something unspoken grew between us, a bond not of size or species, but of understanding. She, a warrior of light holding a dying world together, I, a broken pilot trying to find home. When the day came to leave, the storms grew violent. The core was collapsing. The only way to save Vaelara was to ignite the reactor, but that meant using my ship's power source. If I did, I'd never leave. If I didn't, her world would die. I looked at Vaelara, her golden eyes calm despite the chaos. If you go, she said, you live. If you stay, we all live. You'll die without me. Then let my death mean something. I hesitated, but then I remembered the stars, and her prayer beneath them. Maybe home wasn't a place. Maybe it was the people who believed in you when you fell. So I stayed. I triggered the reactor manually, releasing a surge of pure light that swept across Vaelara. The storm clouds parted. The energy crystals healed. I saw Vaelara reach for me through the blinding light, and then everything went white. When I woke up again, I was floating in space, my ship fully repaired, drifting toward a nearby human colony. The coordinates read Earth orbit. But the metal of the ship shimmered faintly gold, the color of her eyes. And when I looked at the stars, I could hear her voice. Starborn, you are home. Maybe I crashed by accident. Or maybe, the universe sent me there for a reason. Either way, the planet of giants changed me forever. Because sometimes, the way home is through the heart of someone who isn't human at all.